diabetic salons.
Right.
We have absolutely no concept of diet. We cannot live without rice and roti on a probably twice-a-day basis, and we tend not to get checkups, especially women. Our women are so devoted to their families and to their spouses. They're so busy taking care of other people, they don't seem to actually kind of direct attention to themselves.
And speaking of diet, for me, you mentioned rice. So for me, I love brown rice.
Sure.
And it's a staple part of my diet.
Right.
So would that be a better substitute?
First of all, white rice, white bread, white potatoes are all, from a doctor's point of view, these are sugars. These are, as we say, carbs or carbohydrate. And as you know, the South Asian or the Eastern diet, basically you can't do without these things at least once or twice a day. And that's what's causing all the diabetes and weight gain and cholesterol. Now, brown rice is better than white rice, that's true. But having said that, you know, patients try to negotiate their way out of dieting. But I really would say people need to reach their ideal weight, they need to get their cholesterol checked, and they probably need to be on a host of different medications. Men for sure by age 40, if not even a little bit earlier, and perhaps South Asian women by, I would say, maybe age 50, maybe even age 45. And they really need to do it because this is, as you said, it's a global epidemic. We see it so frequently in our medical practices, and the sad part is we could have probably prevented most of it.
Well, are you seeing a change in the newer generation, like say, you know, women of our age and then men of our age? Because I know the older generation and even the weather here, they don't get to walk outside as much. They don't get to enjoy the weather. So I think that affects the older generation. But what are you seeing in the newer?
You're absolutely right. I have patients who will say, I will exercise in June. And I go, you know, for 6 months is gone. Or as you know, I have patients who will come and say, oh yes, doctor, I am doing exercise every day. What do? I do deep breathing.
Which is meditation, it works.
Well, meditation, or you know, I'm doing Bikram yoga. And I go, well, that's lovely.
Study whatever you're doing, it works.
All the time.
But this is not, I mean, when a doctor says exercise, we're talking about calorie burn. We're not talking about stretching and doing the Shiva pose or something, right? This is not what we're talking
says
about.
It's good for you. That's where I get my
well,
so, okay, tell me this thing.
Sure.
In your patients, what do you see that works?
Well, that's a good question. It depends on the patient. So for example, many South Asian families, I would say probably most, if not all, have at least 1, 2, maybe even more members of the family who have nasty family history, meaning they've had early heart disease, early diabetes, complications,
or they've lost
blindness, heart attack, you name it. So those patients tend to listen a little bit better. And so, of course, we offer them medications. For example, the key kind of medications called the statins. For example, things like Lipitor and Crestor. One of the really cool developments in medical circles is one of the most powerful cholesterol medications in the world, actually discovered in Canada, in Montreal. In fact, I'm speaking at a conference soon on that, and it's a really cool option. So,
but then all these medications do come with their side effects.
They do, and so the medications have to be chosen properly, and this is part of the reason why it's really beneficial from a doctor's point of view to have options, choices. The thing I have to say, with due respect to the South Asian population, and I think you're quite right, Huma, there's a generational thing. Once you're over the age of something, which I won't say, then all this fancy advice that I'm giving, oh, control your diet and take care of your exercise, enjoying good life and this and that, it doesn't really work.
So what
That's
works?
why we got to go to medication.
So this is for our audience, and we obviously, all of us, that we care about our community and we care for the progress of the community. So we want everybody to be healthy. Tell us, what is it
that... Well, I think Huma's brought up a great point. We need the younger generation as our spies on the older generation to tell us when, you know, mom and dad are cheating.
I do that to my dad all the time. When he's eating with Kay, I say, put that laddu down.
But you know what? They're also creatures of habit. So I think little baby steps are better. Like, what are the little things the elderly, like the older population can do? Like maybe cut down a little bit of what they're eating.
You know, this is a terrible thing that we tell our South Asian patients, and they look at us like we're crazy. There has to be one day you can have rice or roti, and the next day not. And like skip a day. And they look at me and they say, but what will I do, doctor? How can I, you know, I have even one lady, she brought in a sign which took a photograph. It says, no life without rice. And I thought, well, yeah, but you got diabetes and you know, you're like 35 pounds overweight and so on.
So in summary, moderation is the key. And we would like to, what a great conversation, I have to say. This is such an important topic. Thank you so much, Dr. Shafiq Qadri, for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back again.
Anytime.
We'll be back after this break.